Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you had a great week. Today is March 11th, 2022, and this is your Friday planning video. As we come to the end of another yo-yo week in the market, I'd once again want to suggest to you that if you want a quick 5 to 7 minute update on the market to keep up with the market action and to hear my thoughts on those actions, please tune into the Monday market update video. As much as I love to talk to you every week, most of you would agree that you can do without that in your lives. But if you just take those 5 to 7 minutes a week, you'll get my thoughts on a quick video. So as always, if you need to talk or you want to talk, send me an email, give me a call. We can always make the time for that. Today, I'd like to visit an old friend of ours, the will and the estate plan. You've heard me talk about how important this is, and even a couple of weeks ago, we talked about some ideas on how to approach that with your family. Today, I want to touch on the idea of set it and forget it, and how that's not what we do. It's not the best course of action with a will and an estate plan, and certainly your estate planning documents. Now, just a reminder, I don't draw wills, I don't draw estate plans, but I'm happy to discuss those ideas with you so that when you sit and put some ideas down on paper, so that when you sit down with the estate planning attorneys, things are a little bit easier to explain to them. I don't give legal advice or tax advice or how to set up your estate to best achieve those goals. That's where those specialized attorneys come in. The idea of having an estate plan that can just be set and left alone is about as probable as your situation's never changing. We know that doesn't happen. There are a number of things, there's some special triggers, and maybe a few things you didn't think about, so let's talk about those. Overall, as your circumstances change, you may need to revisit your estate plan. While I'm not suggesting that you need to be addressing this every time you get a new suit or change insurance carriers, there are some important times that come along that you need to check things out. Overall, when your personal circumstances change, such as health or marital status, this also goes for when your children, if and when they get married and start families. Some other triggers for change are the following, just a couple of them out there. Changes in tax laws, changes in state residence or even country of residence. I know that's some things that some of you have done. If you do any of that, that's something you should look at because a lot of this is governed by state or country law. If you have major changes in financial status, if you have a windfall, or God forbid you actually have the other direction, it's important in so many ways that you look at these kind of things because including but not limited to the fact, has your estate become subject to different taxes? Maybe there's some opportunities to protect your assets left to your loved ones. It may not surprise you that you should probably revisit your estate documents when you have your first child. It may surprise you that most estate documents will cover additional children, but it's something you may want to revisit, and certainly you might want to revisit any guardianship updates that you have as well. Many estate planning attorneys do suggest that you review your plan every 5 years. If you have any of these triggering events, obviously you should do those more often. Changes in the designations of those that will act as fiduciaries on your behalf. That's an important exercise. I see it all the time. That first job out of college, not married, mom and dad are the ones who are going to be responsible for you, beneficiaries, executors, all of that. Now, obviously, that's fine. We know that's fine for that short period of time, but as life changes, not only do you want to review this for your sake and for their sake, bring some other loved ones in, such as spouses, but your parents are going to get older. Siblings may not may move away, or they may be unable to perform these roles. So you may want to look into that as well. You also may need to make some changes if some of your fiduciaries, such as the executives or guardians, get divorced or have their own health issues. I've spoken about beneficiaries before, but let's talk about those real quick again. Remember, beneficiaries, will, life insurance, retirement plans, they all need to be updated and reviewed often. As relationships and lives change, you'll need to be sure that those documents change too. To wrap it up, I want to add a few other ideas. There's some often overlooked documents that you'll want to include in your estate planning. Your attorney will help you with a big list of items, but here are a few just so you're ready. You may or may not need these, but there's some ideas to put out there so you can have questions for the attorneys. The durable power of attorney. This will allow someone to step in and make important financial decisions for you if you become incapacitated. You may have this power of attorney be immediately effective, or it may be a springing power of attorney, which only comes into play if you become incapacitated. State laws do govern this, so make sure you talk to the attorney about this. The healthcare directive or the medical power of attorney. In today's world, with so much going on in the medical world, not to mention COVID, this is an important one to have. It's important to have your healthcare plan covered. It's important to have someone appointed to that role who can help in that regard. This is a serious one, not that the other ones aren't, but this is a real serious one. One more thing, I think about this one a lot, and it would make a lot of things a lot easier for your loved ones. It's rarely done, and it's rarely done for good reason. It's a hard one. It's probably one of the hardest ones there is. This is the guidance letter for your family. This is really a letter that becomes the to-do list once you're gone. And you can imagine how clear how it will be. It will clear a lot of things up, make things a lot easier. I'm going to end on one more. This is called the ethical will. Now, this is much less a legal document, more of the guidance letter. It's putting into words what you've tried your entire life to impart upon your loved ones. How to be as opposed to what to be or what to do. There are a lot of ways to do this, but it's one of the things that you'll write from your heart, and it will not be easy to do, but it will be something that will be a great benefit to your family. So now that it's become a little bit more somber than anticipated, I'll wrap it up and just remind you as we spoke a few weeks ago, doing this before you need it, it will make for much less stress for your loved ones when the time does come. It's probably one of the best things you can do for them, so please consider doing that. So as you go into the rest of March, the madness of March, if you're watching basketball games or just watching this madness in the stock markets. So take some time, plan for your future. I'm happy to have some of these initial conversations with you. Come back Monday for another market update video with a recap of this week's action, a preview of next week's action. Little spoiler alert, Jay Powell and the Federal Reserve are going to try to steal the headlines next week. We'll see if that happens. Have a great weekend.